Aurorah is back. I'm going to answer this question really quickly. Many of you emailed after I did the video about the 3 stocks that I believe will more than likely soar during Biden's administration. And you all remember what I said in that video. I'll put it here. 1. Joe Biden proposed a $2 trillion federal investment in the climate crisis. Now, what is that going to do? Okay, ExxonMobil is no longer America's largest energy company. It's not. Before I get into this, before I get into what's going on with ExxonMobil, and I'm addressing it because this is a wonderful case study as to what really will happen to your company if you are not keeping up with the trends. If you're not really, keeping up with the times and what is really happening, you're afraid to make the changes, you don't move fast enough, these are the things that will occur. All right. Did you all know? How many of the secured entrepreneurs knew, because I'm just finding this out, that California will ban new gasoline cars by 2035? Yes, by 2035, the state of California is saying, we want to keep up with the climate change. We want to put an end to certain things that are plaguing the state. So we no longer want gasoline automobiles. This is some deep stuff. So I'm going to get on, do I think ExxonMobil is going to make it? What's going on with ExxonMobil? And then you also ask, am I going to continue to invest in ExxonMobil? Okay, so let's get into it. You already know that I am Miss Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. All right, ExxonMobil is a 135-year-old company, right? It's the direct descendant of John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil, right? So we've got a long history. It's also a dividend-paying company. It's a dividend-paying company. Yeah. I think I'm hanging in there. Okay? I think I'm hanging in there. And I would encourage my investorpreneurs who emailed to hang in there as well, because the changes will be made. Now, what does Ms. Aurorah want to say? Yes, ExxonMobil was kicked off of the Dow Jones in August. They were replaced by a software company called Salesforce. I haven't looked into that software company. I don't know anything about it. Yes, they did report that they lost, $2.4 billion. A secured entrepreneur, correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. But they did report that, or it has been reported that there was a $2.4 billion loss in the first 9 months of this year. Now, that's to be expected. Where were we going in the pandemic? Like, just about everybody had a full tank of gas in the car and could not go anywhere. You weren't going anywhere. So I'm not going to jump on Exxon for that. Okay? The problem that Exxon is now having is that they've got shareholders who are not happy. They're not happy about the loss. They're not happy about how money has been allocated. And let me get on to this particular company that's really giving it to them, really sticking it to Exxon, which is why I do believe that they will make the change, okay? And remember, I told you in that video about the 3 stocks that right now we're moving into this whole renewable energy, okay? Everybody's on the climate change bandwagon. So I do believe that Exxon is going to make that change. Let's talk about this company that is really giving them a hard way to go. All right, first I want to thank you for emailing. Please continue to do so at info@aurorahdayconsulting.com. Now, this is what happens when you have a publicly traded company. The investors, all of us shareholders, you give us permission to talk trash. You give us permission to say what we like, what we don't like, okay? And there is an investor firm that goes by the name of Engine Number One. I thought that was so comical. Like, how preschool is that? It sounds like a cartoon you watched when you were like 4, right? But they're engine number 1. And get this, engine number 1 is backed by the Church of England. They're backed by the Church of England. They're also backed by one of the most powerful pension funds in America, the California State Teachers Retirement System, okay? All of these individuals are pushing ExxonMobil to make moves towards clean energy. In fact, engine number 1 is saying they already have people to replace the board of directors. Whomever it is that they want to remove, they've got a replacement for. Okay? Because they feel that ExxonMobil has not done anything towards the effort of clean energy. They also want them to reveal their emissions, all of their emissions testing. Okay? There are some things that engine number 1 feels that ExxonMobil has not been forthcoming with, and they are ready to force some changes to be made. Okay? So to answer your question, no, I'm not giving up on ExxonMobil. Like I said, the company has been a dividend paying company. They've been around for 135 years. I do believe that because we are moving towards clean energy and electric cars and all of that, I think that the things that Exxon's saying that they're going to have in place by 2025 is realistic, okay? Now, we know that if they don't, I don't know. I want the secured entrepreneurs to chime in. How many years do you think we have before we won't have any cars operated by gasoline, okay? What about the airplanes, gas fireplaces, gas stoves? I mean, I do believe that we're still going to need gasoline. Now, come on, somebody help Miss Aurorah out. What do you think that is really going to happen if we're all electric, you know what I'm saying? So I just know that, I just believe that gasoline is still going to have its place, and that ExxonMobil is going to find solutions. Now, whether it be that this investor firm, engine number 1, really does, it really is allowed to come on board and assist in making some changes, but I do think that, they're a large employer. They've been here this long because they know something. They're doing some things right, okay? However, where Ms. Aurorah is going with this is that whatever it is that you are doing, I keep telling people, if you're not online, you're not in time, right? Because the brick and mortar thing is almost dead. It's almost dead. There aren't too many people who really want to get involved with these commercial leases because of the things that actually does happen that are unfavorable. And now that we have this pandemic, it's not going well for a whole lot of people right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want you all to let Ms. Aurorah know what you think about the whole ExxonMobil. The other company that hasn't done a doggone thing about, clean energy or hasn't made a move towards clean energy is Chevron. Chevron hasn't done anything either, okay? I'm not going to talk about Chevron in this video because I can really get into that one. But in any event, that's what Ms. Aurorah wants to say in this video. I want the secured entrepreneurs to chime in. What are your thoughts on the whole ExxonMobil, gasoline, California about to ban, gasoline automobiles? They want electric cars in 2035. What's up? All right, you can find me, Miss Aurorah Dey, at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time, ta-ta.